I didn't think he could get worse, but oh my lord. So our old buddy boy pal David, still not gonna learn how to pronounce his last name, it's not important. He made a response video to all of the backlash he was getting from his really shit takes with Metroid Dread. Alright, and like I've played the game a bit more recently. I have a total of 6 hours now. And yeah, I'm not gonna stand here and say that the game is like flawless. Like, all honesty, after like the X are introduced, it has like way too high of a difficulty spike in my opinion. Like, I think that's the biggest flaw with the game. Like, this huge difficulty spike out of nowhere. Okay, it's still a really great game. However, that just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video, and that is David's response.
I think the only real question is, unless the game had been marketed to a hardcore audience, and I would say absolutely it's not for me.
Can someone please point out when in Metroid Dread's marketing it was not marketed to be a Metroid game? Please, I would love for someone to point that out to me. And the thing is that it's still a Metroid game, but it's still pretty fucking friendly to newcomers. Alright? Like, I've seen people, like, comments and shit like that saying, like, yeah, this is my first Metroid game, but I'm still having a great time. And hardcore Metroid fans are like, oh man, this game's great. It's a fun game. It's a great Metroid game. It's basically the best parts of Fusion and the best parts of Super Metroid.
I don't think Metroid Dread is fair in some of its puzzles, and I abandoned it not because, oh, that one puzzle pissed me off, but because I was forward thinking of, holy shit, if this is bad this early, it's going to just be even worse, 2 hours down the line, and I wanted nothing to do with it.
As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, our pal David here has never heard of the expression of, don't judge a book by its cover. Seriously, this is such a stupid and dumb argument as to why Metroid Dread is like badly designed or a bad game or whatever. Not every game is going to be perfect 100% of the way through, and like some games are gonna like have weaker portions at the beginning. Okay. Oh my god.
But yeah, anyone coming at me who's like, you're just bad, get good. I don't want to get good. It means nothing to me to get good. There's other things in my life I want to get good at. Playing video games well is not one of them, okay?
Okay, like, if you're bad at a game, your enjoyment of it is not gonna be, like, good. Your thoughts about the game are not gonna be good. You're gonna need to get better at the game. Like, your experience with Doom Eternal is gonna suck if the only weapon you use is gonna be the fucking chain gun. Right? You need to get good with the game. You need to understand the fucking game. Which you didn't, because you just decided to review the game without even fucking completing it. Without even getting halfway, might I add.
Jaffe, there's a tutorial. It told you to shoot everything. Okay, I'm aware. I want to be a little clear on this. The tutorial was weird. The whole idea of blocks, if you've not played Metroid, and I haven't played much Metroid in my life, is weird. People keep calling these things blocks. And I'm like, this is not a tile set like a 2D game. This is organic environment. And it's like, well, they're hidden blocks. So you shoot this organic looking environment like cave walls and things, and suddenly there are these perfect geometrical blocks, and then you have to shoot those as well. I don't fucking know why.
That is a literal staple of all Metroidvania and like Castlevania games. The Ori series, which you love, does that. Hollow Knight does that. Every fucking Metroidvania game I've ever played has that. It's like me going into a platforming game like Mario or A Hat in Time and being like, oh, why am I jumping? Why is there so much jumping? Why is jumping a part of this game? Because it's a literal aspect of that game. Of that game type,
Why not just make the environment destructible? Why do you have to make I just don't fucking understand it. But again, I'm not.
Okay, so he either means he wants like the entire environment to be destructible, like how it is with like a Battlefield game, right? Or he wants, instead of like the tiles to like for like rubble to fall off or something. That isn't how a Metroid game works, dude. And that would be like a fucking nightmare to program and code and, I don't know, design. Aren't you a game designer? You should know that that would not be a very easy fucking task. And in a game series like Metroid, that is one of its staples is destructible environment block things. This is such a fucking stupid point. You guys might think I'm being harsh, but like, he's kept up this like tough guy, oh ha ha, I'm better than you, fucking persona. And now he's like saying this stupid shit. I'm not holding any punches, okay?
Metroid guy. Maybe there's logic to it. I don't understand it. But the point is, the wording is already confusing if you don't know Metroid, because it's talking. It is a written tutorial that some people are going to skip, some people are going to forget.
How exactly is it the game's fault that you yourself forget to do something? What? And if you're choosing to like skip tutorials, like that's on you. That is not the game. All right? Just because it gives you the option doesn't mean you have to do it.
If you get stuck in the game, there could be a lot of reasons you're stuck. One of them is invisible barriers or whatever. Just start shooting things, see what happens. I mean, again, I'm down if you like that. I'm down if that's Metroid, but just because that's Metroid doesn't mean it's okay for me.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I'm confused here. So it's bad game design that you went into a Metroid game not expecting a Metroid game to play and function and be designed like a Metroid game. Am I reading that right? Like, dude, I don't go into a Dark Souls game and not expect the game to be extremely difficult. What is even your point here? That is not the game's fault. That is a you problem.
I have very little experience with the Metroid series. I haven't played one since '94, which was Super Metroid. If you're saying I should have known better because that's Metroid, I guess, but that's a interesting way to push people away that don't have the same relationship with the franchise that you do, if that's what you're hoping for, I suppose.
Here's the thing, if he was talking about the past Metroid games, this point could, like, well, have a point. But there's no excuse because the game outright tells you in the first 15 minutes about the hidden block thing. Alright? Like, it straight up tells you what to fucking do. Can you not read? Serious question, can you not read?
Um, this is the one that drives me the most batshit, though, is the idea of people saying it's obvious you're supposed to shoot up there. Well, the video that you guys have seen going around, where the guy kind of edits and puts Shantae at the end and everything, and I've seen that video too. Everybody who came in there, nobody was going, there's a secret up there. They were shooting the enemies or shooting blindly, and most of them accidentally open up the ceiling. Okay.
I like how he thinks that saying, oh, they were only shooting because there was an enemy up there is a valid point. Why do you think the enemy was up there? To draw people's attention to that area. They'd be like, oh, there's an enemy up there. Hey, why are these blocks all colored weird? This door is blocked. Maybe I should shoot around like the fucking tutorial said at the beginning of the game. Oh, look at that, the path. It's not the game's fault that you just can't use your head.
People are like, well, you should aim. It's like, yeah, I know that. I don't like the aiming in this game because the Joy-Cons. My Joy-Cons may have drift. It doesn't matter. I don't like it. Okay?
I hate repeating myself like a broken goddamn record, but how is that the game's fault? That you don't like the controllers, that is the Switch's fault. Okay? If you don't like it, get the Pro controller, get the GameCube controller. There's, like, how many goddamn controllers for the Switch? I don't even know. But there are plenty of options if you don't like the Joy-Cons. Okay? How is that the game's fault? At all? Please, I would love for this guy to explain how him not using one of the game's core mechanics is the game's fault and not his. I genuinely want to know his reasoning behind this, besides, oh, I don't like the controller. Get a new goddamn controller, dude.
So if I can get away with shooting normally like Mega Man, I'll do that more often. Okay?
Oh, okay. So the game is bad because you're not playing it like a Metroid game, you're playing it like Mega Man. Okay, okay, got it.
And then people say, well, yeah, but it's obvious you're supposed to shoot the enemies up on the other floor. Why? Nowhere else in this game, most games, you can't shoot through the walls, right? We're not.
Oh man, I'm trying real hard to keep my calm right here. Okay. First thing, nowhere else in this game do you shoot at enemies above the floor or whatever. Yeah, you do. But I wouldn't expect David here to know that because he didn't even get halfway through the game, right? And number two, most games you can't do that. What even was your point here, dude? No, seriously. Seriously, I want to know what his thought process was when he said that. I want to know because that is such a stupid, dumb, idiotic argument. Does every game have to play the same in this dude's mind? That's pretty funny, considering that he designed God of War and Twisted Metal, two games that like have barely, if any, similarities between each other. It's somehow a bad thing that a game like has some uniqueness to it, apparently, according to David here. Every game has to be the same now.
This idea that, well, you saw these flying enemies up there, your natural response should be to shoot. Why? The lava window tells you to shoot. No, it doesn't. It's a fucking piece of background. That whole game has problems with the background. You can't tell what's interactive and what's background just because there's some fucking lava window in the background. Oh, I should shoot. No, you're grasping, in my opinion, at that. But whatever.
Yeah, I can't agree with him, but you want to know what was a hint? The fact there was no lights on there, the fact there was an enemy crawling on there, the fact that the only way forward was blocked off, the fact that the tutorial said if you get stuck, shoot around. But hey, nice straw man, dude.
Um, and then people, the last thing they say is, it's like, well, yeah, your games aren't perfect. Your games are shit. Dude, I've never claimed I was the world's best game designer. That doesn't mean that I'm not capable or able or allowed to criticize as someone who has a video game design channel.
David, my man, the issue comes from the fact that you didn't even get halfway through the game. And yet you're just comfortable calling it, oh, the entire game is designed like shit. Oh, this entire game is just bad. How would you feel if someone just played like an hour of God of War and was just like, oh yeah, the entire game is shit because I didn't like this one part in the like beginning of the game? But oh no, please go on ahead about how, oh, because you're a game designer, you just get special privileges to do that. It doesn't take like a million IQ to understand why this is flawed. If I judged an entire game just based off of one bad experience with it, like let's talk platformers, okay? If I judged an entire platformer just based off of a fucking ice level because like I kept slating off platforms to my death or hit an enemy or whatever, and it's called the entire game shit just because of an ice level, why would you take me seriously? Why would anyone like try and be like, oh wow, yeah, he actually has a point? No one would, because no one is possibly that dumb.
Weird. So 95% of you go fuck yourselves. I don't care, right? But that 5% that really genuinely enjoys talking design and gameplay and why things are the way they are in the medium, this is the video. I made this for you guys because there's
So the truth finally comes out. David here, he doesn't want like to have a discussion or to have people critique him on something that he put publicly on the internet, his opinion publicly on the internet. He just wants people that think exactly like him to just be like, yeah, you're right, pal. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You just want a bunch of yes men in a fucking echo chamber. So anyone who doesn't agree with you, who doesn't pertain to just one specific way of thinking, oh, they could just go fuck themselves. My favorite games of all time is Watch Dogs 2. Alright, yeah, go ahead, laugh it up in the comments, but yeah, that game, it is not perfect. And I don't necessarily agree with every single criticism the game gets, and I do agree with some. And I'll be willing to have a discussion about those critiques. Quite frankly, I think Lenny is a horrible fucking character. But you see, the difference between me and this guy right here is if the criticisms are given in good faith and are actually like good, decent criticisms, boom, you gotta, boom, okay? I'll like talk about it with you, alright? You can disagree with people without being a dick. Yeah, I am kind of being one right now. I can fully admit that. Because this guy right here, he pisses me off because he is like the perfect example of an arrogant, disingenuous fucking asshole. Okay? Who's giving bad faith criticism. He's getting pissed off that this Metroid game plays exactly like a fucking Metroid game. It does. Like, I don't know, maybe David, he saw the robot and was like, oh man, it's gonna be like a mech fighting game. Maybe that's what he was expecting with this game. If you came into this game expecting like a Metroid game, like bam, it was a great experience, right? If you came into this game expecting like a third fucking person racing sim, you're gonna be disappointed. I don't know what this guy was expecting going into this game, but whatever the fuck it was, he just didn't like it, and every hill he tried to die on, it just collapsed. And this video does not make him look any better.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet.